Good day, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us. But despite the technical difficulties, the forum will be televised, so to speak. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the University of the Institute of Creative Writing, I would like to thank you for joining us in this forum. It is a necessary conversation that concerns Filipino writers and publishers and a most urgent global situation. I'm Rex Nepomuceno, Deputy Director of the UP Institute of Creative Writing, and I will be moderating our forum for today. Our event is on the Palestinian-led campaign to boycott the Frankfurt Book Fair, a hybrid forum on its origins, rationale, and objectives. The Philippines will be the guest of honor at the Frankfurt Book Fair this coming October 15 to 19, 2025. There will be a special Philippine pavilion on the FBF grounds featuring literary and cultural events. The whole program is organized by the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, the National Book Development Board, and the Department of Foreign Affairs. Considered to be an important opportunity to project Philippine literature on the global stage, it has, however, been confronted with increasingly vocal protests calling for the boycott of the Frankfurt, and local publishers initiated the campaign in the Philippines. Several organizations and individuals followed suit. As the situation in Gaza and Palestine continues to deteriorate, the need for Filipino writers, publishers, and cultural workers to be better informed about the international Palestinian-led boycott campaign has become even more urgent. It is hoped that this webinar can contribute to the ongoing discussions in order that Filipino cultural workers and publishers can better weigh the issues at stake behind the call to boycott the Frankfurt Book Fair. Now, this forum is part of the Likhaan's Panayam sa Panitikan series, a series of lectures and conversations designed to support writers in the production of literature and to share knowledge and practices in creative writing. The PAN series also seeks to cultivate communities for the safe exchange of ideas on literature and the society at large. It is part of our broader Literature for Social Development program, and we are broadcasting this event live in the Likhaan UP Institute of Creative Writing Facebook page and YouTube channel. We are joined here today at the University of the Philippines by Filipino publishers and organizations joining the boycott, as well as speakers representing the Palestine Library, Publishers for Palestine, and Publishers for Palestine, who will be joining us remotely from Germany, Ireland, and Sweden, as I understand it correctly. We would like to express our utmost gratitude to our speakers for today, Hebh Jamal, a Palestinian-American journalist based in Germany, Khalil Pierre of the Palestine Library, Róisín Davis of the Publishers for Palestine, and Faye Cura of the Gantala Press, a Philippine affiliate of the Publishers for Palestine, Neferti Xina M. Tadiar of the Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies of the Barnard College of the Columbia University, and Adam David of the Better Living Through Xeroxography, BLTX. Faye and Adam will be joining us, or are joining us here live today. Now, to formally open our event, let me call on the director of the Likhaan UP Institute of Creative Writing, Dr. Vladimir Gonzalez.
Salamat, Sir Rex. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Aside from what Rex has said, this forum, itong Panayam sa Panitikan, is aligned with the Institute's Literature for Social Development program, which is composed of projects that promote literature and creative writing as tools for social awareness and change. In its initial conception and approval on 7 December 1978, the UP Likhaan Institute of Creative Writing, formerly known as the Creative Writing Center, was built with the objective of stimulating writers from all parts of the Philippines to contribute to national cultural development and assert the leadership of UP in the field of creative writing. As decades passed, the notions of cultural development and institutional leadership have been continuously interrogated, modified, and adjusted to articulate the needs of the literary community in the Philippines as it relates to artistic production and the local and international socio-political context. Through the various workshops, publications, fora, and performances, the UPICW has aided in articulating and problematizing questions like, what is the world? What are its problems? What are the realities that are continuously silenced or erased? In line with this, the Institute is grateful to be able to host this forum, which, like Rex has already said, addresses a timely and concerning issue of silencing or erasure. Siyempre, ito po yung the genocide in Gaza and Palestine and its connection with the boycott campaign against the Frankfurt Book Fair and the Philippines as Frankfurt Book Fair Guest of Honor for 2025. This effort is the UPICW's attempt in extending the conversation that has been initiated and popularized by independent publishers and authors, as said before. And for that, again, we thank our collaborators from the Palestine Library, Publishers for Palestine, sila Adam and Faye from Better Living to Xeroxography and Gantala Press, and all our guest scholars and artists that will be able to give a broader context on the interconnections of this boycott with the Palestinian struggle. At syempre kasama ang pasasalamat sa mga nanonood dito, mga Ateneo friends, at iba pang friends, writers and academics, at lahat ng interesado sa usapang ito. We talk about silences and erasures in our creative writing classes, literature classes, and I think it would be a disservice if we do not articulate discussions about the silencing of the Palestinian narrative. So it is our little contribution to continue the conversation and have, a wider platform from our friends at Palestine. Kasama sa mga pasalamat ay syempre thank you kay Sir Ramon Guillermo, and former ICW Director Rolando Tolentino, na ito rin po ngayon, for providing the necessary support in jump-starting this event, as well as the members of UPICW, si Ma'am Ana Sanchez at Ma'am Luna po ay narito. Kasama po sila sa pag-endorse, for endorsing this conversation today. And of course, thank you for our friends at the Filipino Department, Sir Shedder Hoxon and other colleagues for providing the venue, and syempre staff ng ICW para sa tech and lahat ng suporta. As a literature-based institution, we acknowledge that the UPICW is still a small entity compared to the massive machinery of the Frankfurt Book Fair, but due to our mandate, we will muster all our resources to boost the signal, so to speak, and raise awareness on this movement. Lastly, panawagan lang po, let us support all efforts toward the free Palestine, as well as a free and liberating literature for the silenced, erased, and disenfranchised. Isang makabulang pag-uusap po sa ating lahat ngayong hapon.
Maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Sir Vlad. Now we're going to go on with the forum. I'm going to introduce our first speaker for today. To present about the present situation in Gaza, we have Hebh Jamal. Hebh Jamal is a Palestinian-American journalist living and working in Germany. Her writing focuses on racism and Islamophobia in Germany. Despite smears from the German press, threats of violence, and the murder of close relatives in Gaza, Hebh has remained steadfast in her determination to uncover the racist and genocidal nature of German state policy. Her most recent work includes producing a documentary investigating Germany's reason of state. Hebh, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. I'll turn over the floor to you, Hebh.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all so much. So something, very funny, and totally do not blame anyone at all. My name is actually pronounced Hibba. My parents misspelled my name at birth, which is why there's a pesky H at the end. So so my name is Hebh Jamal. I'm a Palestinian journalist. And I'm actually from a village of Palestine called Jimzu. It's a village next to the district of Lid. Unfortunately, it was ethnically cleansed in 1948, and my family became refugees within Palestine and then all over the world, from Jordan to Brazil to the United States. I married my husband, who is from Germany, but originally from Gaza. and I had the privilege of visiting Gaza in 2022 and adopting his family as my own. Unfortunately, however, since the genocide began, over 50 members of my husband's family has been murdered by the Israeli genocidal regime. And the unfolding nature of this genocide is essentially all-encompassing. The impact it has on Palestinian life and the concept that it is truly an annihilation campaign against the Palestinian people. Over the last 600 days, over 54,000 Palestinians have been murdered, and this number presented by the health ministry is obviously extraordinarily low. And it does not include people that are dying from starvation. It does not include people that are under the rubble. It does not include people that have been abducted and murdered in Israeli prisons. This number is a very, very, extremely safe estimate on to the extent of what Israel has done against the Palestinian people. As I mentioned, 50 members of my husband's family have been murdered. I tend to want to speak about one person in particular that has really impacted me and someone very close and dear to my heart. On February 4th, 2024, Israel murdered my husband's first cousin. Her name is Sama Abdelhadi. I consider her my cousin, so I tend to say she's my cousin. She was 14 years old, and they murdered her along with her brother, her mother, her grandparents, and aunts and uncles, and their children, all in an airstrike in Deir al-Balah. That was categorized as safe zone at the time. And her death is exemplary of how Israel targets innocent civilians that have nothing to do with October 7th, and have nothing to do with this whole propaganda campaign that they have launched against the Palestinian people. Since then, my husband's family has moved from place to place. Their home in Khan Yunis was destroyed, and as the rest of the Palestinian people have been subjected to evacuation orders and threats where Israel then bombs the road in which they are evacuating to. Right now, there's an evacuation order from nearly all of Khan Yunis, where my husband's family is from, and so they've left to Deir al-Balah. And then there's another factor, obviously, that everyone has understood and articulated, which is the starvation campaign against the Palestinian people. This starvation campaign often gets told as, there's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza, there is a famine in Gaza, Palestinian children are dying from starvation. Okay, but what does this actually mean? Israel is conducting a man-made starvation against the Palestinian people. Blocking. They are blocking hundreds and hundreds of trucks that are on the Rafah border crossing right now from entering. And instead, what they have done is they created this sham organization, a terrorist organization called the Gaza Humanitarian Fund. And what is the Gaza Humanitarian Fund? It is an organization that was created by the United States and Israel to so-called deliver aid off of the hands of, so it doesn't go into the hands of Hamas. And so they have these aid distribution zones. There's one in Rafah, there's one in Gaza City. And what these are, essentially, it's a humiliation ritual, right? And so what they do, and I want to sort of explain this because not a lot of people understand exactly how it functions. So there's these distribution zones, and obviously there's this security apparatus that is conducted along the distribution zone. So you have Israeli soldiers and tanks, American soldiers, mercenaries for hire, that are encompassing all across these zones. And okay, so what happens? Well, what happens is to stoke chaos, Israel, shoots in the air, shoots at Palestinians, abducts Palestinians, essentially because they're coming in the thousands to try to receive aid. Mind you, everyone in Gaza is starved. So they put these packages, these parcels of aid towards the middle of these areas, right? And what essentially happens is only the strong and the most capable are able to receive this aid. Some receive 10 parcels while others receive none. And this is in parallel, instead of the UNRWA's, UNRWA's very, very efficient way of handing out aid to the Palestinian people, which is based on identification, based on understanding how many people are in specific families. That's how it has happened for decades. But instead of this, what they do is they essentially trap Palestinians and murder them as they try to get aid. Four cousins of my husband's family on the second day of the launch of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation was murdered by a targeted drone strike after securing a parcel of aid. Literally, the flower that they were carrying was soaked in blood. And the videos that came out of it was, my husband's uncles, leading the funeral prayer, for their children. I mean, that's how close it is, for Palestinians, right? And Palestinians in Gaza, everyone has a story like that. And every day, hundreds are murdered. Okay, so there's another component on top of that, and this is a very sort of brief, encompassing thing of just the last few weeks. But Israel is doing one thing in particular that I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about. They are not only